This term Ikigai came to me only a couple of years back and it stayed with me. Hope that will be the same case with you also. But with respect to rhythm, that has been there with me for a while. And that has a little bit of philosophical background from India. So when I saw this opportunity to learn Ikigai, I see the connection between those two and how we will be able to use these concepts in guiding our day-to-day life. And the most interesting thing is nobody can teach you what your Ikigai and rhythm is. Only you can find it yourself. So it is not going to be a prescription. It is only an idea which you may be able to use in your day-to-day life, improving the mental health and general well-being. So the Ikigai is the art of staying young while growing old. The growing old part, from experience I know there is no choice. But art of staying young, I think it's our choice. Look at this picture, and throughout the presentation, I would like you to have this picture in your mind. The bird is actually sitting on a rather dry twig, and happily sitting there. But let us say if that twig breaks, a bird worth its name will not fall with the twig. It will fly away. It will find another location. So it is about the fragility. The fragility is what makes us incapable of handling situations. So all these things which we have, the support system we have, the twig, they may be about to be broken. It's all dry, and they may be your profession, your job, your friendship, your money, your status in life, your relationship with other people. But if they break down, are you able to fly? That is the question. For which we have to do a lot of retrospection inward and then find where we can lead ourselves. So the happiness does not depend on external conditions. It is completely governed by our mental situation. So Ikigai and rhythm, the Ikigai, the pronunciation is Iki-Gai, and rhythm is Rutham. And there, interestingly, there is no exact translation available in English for both the words. And anyone with the Japanese background here? Ikigai? No. So Ikigai is, what is that keeping you alive and well? What makes you want to get up in the morning? What makes it meaningful for you? And you can add more years to your life, but this question is, are we able to add more life to your years? That is the idea behind that. And rhythm, it is a Sanskrit word, and it is basically looking at what are the basic personal traits you have that is to take you forward, and what are the traits you want to keep and acquire and also keep improving on, and how are you functioning, at what level of rhythm are you functioning. That is the concept, and basically using the rhythm we can find our Ikigai and move forward. So as I said, Ikigai is a Japanese term and rhythm is a Sanskrit term with a Vedantic tradition. So staying active is the only choice. There is no other choice. The Japanese proverb is, only staying active will make you want to live for 100 years. And the case in point is Okinawa. There are the most number of people above 100 years old. That's in Okinawa. And the statistics is 23 out of 100,000. And they say lifestyle influenced by their Ikigai. Ikigai is what makes them want to go forward. And everyone has an Ikigai. Whether we realize it or not, whether we can articulate it or not, we do have an Ikigai, but then we may not know about it. Once you know about it, you can actually make amends if required. So these are the typical achievements, and then you can see that we come in full circle. Starting from the age 2, able to walk, able to get out of home and then get back without getting lost, and then you can read through the progression and coming back to able to walk. So all these are achievements, but Ikigai will help you get to this with much more life, much more agility while you are doing it. There are 5 blue zones according to the research by Hector Garcia and Francis. One is Okinawa, Japan, and they call it as a village of longevity, and their lifestyle, the food habit, and also the Ikigai. Sardinia, Italy, and they say local vegetables, 2 glasses of wine, cohesive nature of community, and they didn't say specifically Ikigai, but then they did have Ikigai, and that's what kept them going. Loma Linda, California, then Nicola Peninsula in Costa Rica, Icaria in Greece, and the common theme in all those are diet, exercise, activities, including yoga and meditation, Tai Chi, and a purpose in life, Ikigai. You can see even within Japan, Okinawa has much better life expectancy compared to Japan and also to other countries as well. So an active mind keeps the body young. And that's the basic thing. A friend of mine, actually, he is slightly older than me. The way he does is, in the morning he goes out for a walk, 1 hour. Just before that, he will memorize a portion from the New Testament Bible, and it is poetic portion of that. So he will read it 2-3 times, and then another one from Bhagavad Gita he does it, and then these 2 he says in the first 5 minutes he will recite it rather loud, and then he walks. Throughout the walk he will do this, and every day he will repeat this, and then that keeps his mind at calm. At the same time, he will remember so many things. And now, because of that, he claims that he can remember more things. It is important to know that the brain creates new connections when you learn new things. And turning off the autopilot, when you come to work and go somewhere, take different routes and make your mind or face some challenges, whatever you will be able to achieve for that day. And although we may think that it is very minor, but then it adds up. That's what the research shows. Mindfulness, meditation, yoga, breathing exercise, all these are beneficial for that. And developing a high degree of emotional awareness. At what stage am I talking from? And what level am I behaving? So that's a mindfulness. When you are getting angry, when you are getting elated, or when you are happy without reason, all those, if you can actually look back and see at what level are you coming from. Now, let's get back to the proper Ikigai analysis. Our actions fall into different categories, and in the Ikigai analysis, we classify that into 4 major categories. One is what you're good at. We do a lot of things we are really good at, and that keeps us going for sure. And the other one is what you love to do. Just because you are very good at doing certain things, that doesn't mean that you love to do them. Right? I mean, you may be very good in cooking, but then you don't want to do it. So another one is what you can get paid for. That is, what is in it for me? I'm good at certain things. I want to do it, but is there anything for me? So that don't take it as a selfish thing. It is to keep you going. What is in it what is there in it for me? The other one is what the world needs. So for example, if I make a movie, I'm very good at making movies and I'm passionate about it, but if the world doesn't want to see it, nobody is going to pay for it. So the whole action will not have enough worth. You may think that it has worth, but then Ikigai brings home a point of, is it reasonable? A sanity check. Basically, that's what the Ikigai does. So, basic definition, what you love to do and what you are good at, it's your passion. What you love to do and what you are good at. What you love to do and what the world needs, that's a mission. Because, you really love to help people and the world needs it. So, it is your mission. What you are good at and what you can get paid for, that's your profession. I'm an engineer, I'm good at doing these things and somebody is paying me to do that and I'm happy about it. But what is your vocation? The world needs it and what you can get paid for. You can buy some things from the market, sell it. So world needs it and you get some money and that's your vocation. So your life or your Ikigai is a combination of all these four: passion, mission, profession and vocation. And people have, always said, I'm in the element or I'm in the flow. And really when you say you are in the element or in the flow, means all these four are coming to help you and also it is integrated well. So when you combine all these, what you are good at, what you love to do, what the world needs, what you can get paid for, you have the profession, vocation, mission and passion. And interestingly enough, there is only a small region which can combine all these things. You may be very good at doing certain things, but the reality check is that, okay, you have a role to play, you have to do these things in order to continue. So it's a reality check. You may be great at doing certain things, but then we are working here, this is my job and this is what I have to do to get ahead. And also it has all these combinations. So this common area is the area of Ikigai. That is the reason why you get up in the morning. That's the reason why you are excited about going somewhere. And you know that all your excitement cannot be fulfilled. All your needs for money will not be fulfilled. All your interest in philanthropy or all your interest in helping people and passion, all those will not be satisfied. But you do have an Ikigai. That is the reason. So, Ikigai is not a wishful thinking. It is a well thought out idea about why and what is our mission and also why are we getting up in the morning. So, everyone, according to Japanese, has an Ikigai. Whether you have articulated it or not, you do have an Ikigai. And Ikigai brings a lot of meaning to your life. And also you look at it and say, yeah, my Ikigai is such and such, and then I'm going with that. And once you know that this is what you are going with, then your life will be much more meaningful. So let's analyze it in a slightly different way. What you are good at and what you want to do, it is basically philanthropy. That there is nothing wrong with just being philanthropic and still you have a little bit of all the other things. See, what you get paid for, that means the satisfaction, what is there in it for me, and also the mission and everything. So, it is philanthropy. And what you will get paid for and what are in demand or what the world needs, it is basically just vending. Here you go. That's how you make money. And at the same time, you think that, okay, there is a bit of passion there and the mission, all those things are there. And non-profit is basically what the world needs and also what you want to do. So, it is non-profit. And the services industry is what you are good at and what you can get paid for. So, those who are looking, a changing job or continuing in the same job or the same firm and everything. If we were to analyze our situation like this, then we can get to know where we fit in properly. And then once you know that, once you know where you are moving, then it is much more easy to handle situation, easy to handle your boss or handle your subordinates or colleagues and the projects and also the world in general. So Ikigai, as I said, this is the Ikigai, a combination of all these, and it is not, geometrically I showed this, but the proportion can be different passion, different levels of mission, different levels of professional ability, and all that detail. And what is wrong with having the passion and the profession only? It is satisfied, but then there is a sense of uselessness, because I'm good at these things, I'm getting paid, and I'm not extending myself to something more. That is not needed, it is not a necessity, but at the same time you may feel a sense of uselessness. Between passion and mission, you are delighted and you are happy about it, but at the same time, there is no wealth. I'm not personally being benefited. So another thing is, between mission and vocation, I'm excited, but then I'm not sure where this is leading to, because I don't have enough capability to do certain things. So the other one is comfortable, but a sense of emptiness, because you have a profession and a vocation, and then there is no sense more than the day-to-day life. So Ikigai has all those. So in a practical sense, what it is social, professional, well-being, esteem, philosophical, sustainability, value, everything is combined in your Ikigai. And it also gives you an idea about who are you, what motivates you, and why are you relevant, and what is relevant in your life, and what is needed, and where are you headed, what is available for you. Again, it's a reiterating. What is the reason for you to get up in the morning? What keeps you going? Is it sustainable? Is it reasonable? That is the most important thing. Sometimes people think that, okay, I'm a wildlife photographer, I'm very good at it. But I can take all the photographs I want, but if nobody is there to enjoy it, nobody is there to pay for it, my passion will die down. But with the Ikigai, you will be much more reasonable in your aspirations. This is a good news or bad news? We have to create our own Ikigai. No one else can do it. Parents or bosses or no one will be able to help you with that. Only you. So the organization's Ikigai, actually a company or a firm can have Ikigai, but then usually we capture it in the mission statements and also in the vision. And if we can capture that as a very valuable and also a meaningful vision, that will help the company also. The examples of Ikigai, as I said, no one else can prescribe it for you. It is not enough to say this. For example, to contribute to the society through my engineering and management expertise and to be well known in the industry. Yeah, it's a very lofty goal, lofty Ikigai, but it's not specific enough. Even in my mind. For example, if I say that that's my Ikigai, those are good, but am I giving some pointers? Where am I going to check it? What is my checkpoints, and how many times in a year or how many times in a decade am I going to check it? But this can be much detailed, and as I said, you don't have to show it to anyone. It is all your own. To see my grandson grow into being a fine young man, if grandfather is thinking that or grandma is thinking that means in the morning, she's getting up and then preparing something for the grandson and then getting him ready for the world. And so that can be the grandma's Ikigai. So, for example, if a retired person, if he says or she says, I want to do Tai Chi every day. And these are all very specific. What I'm saying is, it is scalable. the Ikigai is very scalable, and also it depends on what stage in life you are. So Ikigai is basically dynamic. It's not a static point. Oh, I have decided on my Ikigai and I'm changing. Yeah, you are welcome to change, because you are the master of your own Ikigai. It's only you can change, you can make that. And when you find your Ikigai, please be specific to yourself. Otherwise, it will not have any meaning. I want the whole world to be nice, and the world poverty to be removed, and everybody happy, live happily ever after. That doesn't work. You have to be specific. If you do what you love, you will never work in a day in your life. The general Ikigai for mortals like me, it will be only this much. Possibilities are endless, infinite possibilities are there. But my Ikigai is very limited, and I know that. That is the most important thing. I know where I stand, and that is a self-assessment. And you can say the perfect Ikigai is almost like God consciousness. God gets whatever he or she wants, right? So that is the perfect Ikigai. Now, the Ikigai concept is there, and it is something which we can find out. But with the rhythm, actually, it will help you find your Ikigai. And that is because rhythm is basically assessing where you stand based on your natural traits. And it depends on the situation and also the time and space as well. So, rhythm helps you find your Ikigai, and it is your mental makeup. At this stage, what mental makeup am I presenting this seminar to you? That only I can assess. A guidance in this assessment will be helping us in finding the Ikigai. Rhythm is the composition and changes based on your time and space, but you do have a prominent rhythm. And rhythm helps you find in who am I? Am I this body? Am I this mind or my memory? Am I this intellect or ego? And in the Indian philosophy, there is an analysis of mind. It is based on the mind, intellect, memory, and ego. Basically, mind is cloud computing. It is thoughts that are flying all around. And intellect is basically capturing some of those thoughts and say, does it make sense? Do I have to continue with that thought? And it is an analysis. It's an intellectual analysis. And when it comes to ego, how does that matter to me? There are these thoughts, but then I analyze it, that thought is good, but how is it going to affect me? That is the ego. And you put it in the memory. So mind in Indian philosophy is always talked about as 4 different categories. So mind is not mind in the English translation basis. It is based on 4 different categories depending upon time and space. Classification of the human traits is based on it is called Triguna classification. The 3 means 3. Actually 3 came from the Sanskrit word 3. Triguna classification based on the first one is idea oriented. That's called the Sattvic. Second one is Rajasic, that is activity oriented. Third one is Tamasic, that is material oriented. So any action, when you think about it, it's a combination of this idea, activity, and material. These 3 are required. So where are you coming from in this particular moment? In this particular moment in life, the time or space, where are you coming from? The ideas oriented means, it's not an exhaustive list. It's only some sampling. Thoughtful, contemplative, scholarly, altruistic, devotional, kind, quiet, selfless, and everything is sattvic. When it comes to activities, it could be arrogant, cantankerous, dynamic, productive, overpowering, forceful. All those can be rajasic. And you can see that in tamasic, it is material oriented. It can be about laziness, lethargy, and immobile. material, mass, all those. So, all in these three, basically what we are saying is the rhythm is the truthful outcomes, the manifestation of these three in different proportions. That's your rhythm. At that moment, this is the rhythm. And for example, my rhythm at this particular point is a little bit of ideas oriented, little bit of rajasic oriented, and a very, very small quantity of tamasic oriented. That is, I'm not dull, I'm not lethargic now, but at the same time, I need material to prop me up. So it is a combination of these three, and this sattvic cannot survive without the help of those two. But it may be different proportion. Same thing with other ones also. And it is not to do any judgment of our own or other people. It is only for analyzing our own traits or our own functioning. So sometimes people get into wrong way of analyzing. Oh, I'm sattvic and the other guy is tamasic. That's not the purpose of it. It is my own. Yeah, I am being unreasonable because I am coming from the tamasic style, or I'm coming from the activity oriented cantankerous style. That's why I'm behaving like this. And there are some parallels to Triguna analysis also in the Ayurveda tradition in Indian medical system. So those who are into ideas, predominantly, they are called in the sattvic rhythm. Those who are into this most of the time. But in the same way, the activities realm, it is called rajasic rhythm. And when it is material oriented, it is the tamasic rhythm. So once we know this, we can get to the ikigai much easier. So again, in a parallel, if you look at it, in the most optimum combination of those three could be called as God consciousness. So ikigai and rhythm comes to a common point there. But then rhythm is for analyzing where we stand, what we are, and ikigai is what we want to be. So it's a forward looking. And this one is introspection, really, and analyzing our own mind and then looking at where we can reach or where we can go. And please remember, there is no judgment there for ourselves or looking others and say, where these guys are coming from. No, that's not the intent. It is to look ourselves, how we are reacting to the situation. See, if somebody is giving really bad time for me, and it is because how I'm taking it. That's the reason. Probably that's the only reason. And, one example I'll tell you. I happened to cut somebody while driving, and then he showed me the finger. I pulled the window down and said, thank you. And this guy got, surprised. And it is because that, and I wasn't making fun of him. Because, he showed me that I did something wrong, and I was thankful. But this guy thought that I don't know the culture, that's why I behaved like that. Yeah. So it is a different way of looking at it. Then, in order to get to your ikigai, you can use the concept of intent. And it is sort of a word play, and it is basically incubate this idea in your mind and then see where it leads you. And then notice, be mindful of your thoughts and pay attention, don't judge. Because just observe, when you see a lot of clouds in the sky, you don't have to be attached to those clouds, you just observe what they are telling you. And then trust yourself, don't ignore. Because, some of the gut feeling, those are very useful to you. It is always good to express it. You discuss with your friend only if you have some really trusted friends. Otherwise, it is good to write it yourself or mental note. It's okay. And nurture it and take action. And take action is finding your ikigai. So, use intent. By using the rhythm, analyze yourself, use intent to come up with your ikigai. And don't retire from work, find your own ikigai. That's the best way to keep you more agile as you grow older. As I was starting to prepare for this presentation, I saw this particular meditation. Many a time we think that others are the cause of our problem. But then, Zen meditation, it gives you an idea. If we start thinking that some others is causing you problem, always think, what have I received from that person? Either good or bad, doesn't matter. What have I received? What have I given? And what problems have I caused to that person? Many a time we think that, I'm on the receiving end. But think, formulate your thinking in those terms and reflecting on these three questions, we will stop identifying others as the problem, creating problem for you. Now coming back to our lonely bird. And it is always best to have a few strategies for fragility, anti-fragile strategy. It's the same thing with even the financial people will tell you, don't put all your eggs in the same basket. Like that, it is always better to have friends of various nature and also investments in various areas and getting rid of things and company of people who are not going to be improving your mental happiness. So it's always good to build resilience and what that will get rid of the fragility in life. Then the secrets to Ikigai, it is from the case study by Hector Garcia. Most important thing is don't retire, be active. Retiring fully from any kind of work that will not be adding life to you. And take it slow and enjoy the journey. And this is another thing Japanese, they do, eat moderately. And what they say is, as soon as you start getting to feel full, just stop eating. So that is the 80% full idea. And be in the company of good friends, exercise, smile, reconnect with the nature, give thanks, live in the present and follow your Ikigai, nurture. This is the story of Ikigai and analysis of rhythm. You can get to Ikigai and you don't have to tell this to your boss or anybody. Enjoy it. Find your Ikigai, nurture it. And one more thing. If I rest, I rust. Thank you.